The story will be told from the perspective of the main female character.
She is your problem now. Those were the exact words my mother said to me. That was the night my sister left her 4-month-old baby on my front porch and disappeared into the storm. She did not ask if I was doing okay. She did not even glance at the infant. She just handed me a life I never planned for and walked away. 11 years later, those same people took me to court, claiming I was the one keeping them apart. I sat there holding a closed folder they had no idea existed, listening to them tell lies like it was the easiest thing in the world. When I finally stood up to speak, the feeling in the room changed because the truth in that file was not just hurtful. It also showed things they never thought I knew. I used to think my life was small in a good way. It was quiet and safe. I worked long shifts as a nurse for children. I came home to a 1-bedroom apartment in a quiet part of the city. I ate leftovers, watered my plants, and went to sleep to the sound of the heater. I never thought I would be a mother. I definitely did not think it would happen with a baby wrapped in a wet blanket at midnight. But life does not ask if you are ready. It just happens and waits to see who you become. The night my sister vanished felt like a dream. 1 minute I was folding my laundry while a big storm was happening outside. The next minute I was looking at a 4-month-old in a car seat. Rain was dripping off the plastic cover. There was a small, messy note tucked near her tiny hand. She looked so small and fragile. Her breathing was shaky, like she knew she had been left alone. My hands were shaking when I called my parents. I really wanted them to show they cared. My mother picked up the phone on the second ring. She sighed like I was bothering her. Then she said the sentence that stayed with me forever. "She is your problem now." My father did not even come to the phone. They hung up before I could say another word. Even now, 11 years later, I can still feel how thick the silence was after that call. That was the moment I knew nobody was coming to help me. Not the guy I was seeing, who left 2 weeks later. Not my parents. Not anyone. It was just me and a baby who had nobody else in the world. I did not sleep for the first 48 hours. I learned how to make warm bottles by watching videos while I cried. I ran to the store when the sun came up with the baby inside my coat, because I did not own a single thing for a child. I changed my whole life without thinking twice. Slowly, it stopped feeling like a chore and started feeling like love. The little girl would hold my finger and look at me like I was the only solid thing in her world. And maybe I was. People talk about families they choose like it is a nice idea, but mine was made of storms, tears, and promises made in the dark. For 11 years, it felt like nothing could break us. That was until the day my sister came back. My sister did not come back to say sorry. She came back to put on a show. It happened on a normal Wednesday. My daughter was 10 years old. She was lying on the living room floor building a solar system out of cardboard. She was humming because she felt safe. Ikratkoi phone rang with a number I did not know. I almost did not answer it. "It's me," the voice said. For a second, my brain could not believe it was the sister who had vanished in the rain 11 years ago. But then I heard that shake in her voice that she used whenever she wanted something. She said she was in the city. She said she wanted to talk and explain things. She picked a cafe across from a quiet park. She called it neutral ground. When she walked in, I almost did not know who she was. Her hair was fixed and she had on soft makeup. She did not look like the frantic girl who had left a baby on my porch. She looked very put together. "I have been sober for 6 years now," she said. She held her hands together and spoke very carefully. I told her the truth, but I was careful. "I want to meet her," she told me, "if you think that is okay." She acted like she had not given up that right a long time ago. I did not say yes right away. I thought about my daughter's stability and how she gets nervous. I thought about the nights she woke up from bad dreams and whispered, "Don't let them take me." But I said yes to one meeting that I could control. We chose the Children's Museum because it was bright, loud, and felt safe. My daughter held onto my hand and acted very shy. My sister walked up to her very softly. She was acting like she was trying to win a prize. Then my daughter looked at her and said, "My mom is my real mom." My sister started crying when she heard that. I wanted to think she was actually feeling bad, but people who always take the easy way out do not stay sad for long. Over the next few months, my sister was around a lot more. She visited every week and sent texts asking about school. She left small presents at our front door. My daughter has a kind heart, so she slowly started to talk to her. I did not trust any of it, but I did not want my daughter to feel trapped by my own fear. Then one night after my daughter went to sleep, I got a text. It said, "We have something important to discuss tomorrow." It was signed by my sister and her new husband. His name was Derek. I had never met him before. The next day, the two of them sat at my dining room table. They were holding hands and smiling like they had already decided how things were going to go. "We want custody," the husband said in a very calm way. My sister did not even flinch. I looked at the crayons my daughter had left on the table. I felt something inside me lock into place. This was not about family getting back together. This was a takeover. I could not breathe for a second. That word, custody, hurt more than anything my sister had ever done, even leaving the baby on my porch. I gripped the table so I would not shake. "You can't be serious," I said very quietly. "We are," the husband answered. He sounded too smooth. "She deserves a traditional household, a stable home, and 2 parents. He spoke like I had not been doing both jobs for 11 years. My sister nodded her head. "You've done so much for her. Truly," my sister said. "But it's time she comes home." Home? My daughter's home was just 10 feet away in the hallway. Her art was on the walls and her shoes were by the door. I did not start a fight right then because my daughter was in the other room and could hear everything. I walked them to the door. My face was blank and my voice was steady. They thought that meant I was weak. Later that night, after I put my daughter to bed, I heard her talking in her sleep. She was whispering, "Don't take me, don't take me." I sat on the floor by her bed and put my hand on her back. I could feel her shaking. In that quiet moment, I made a final choice. I was not going to lose her, not to my sister and not to anyone. The legal letter came 3 weeks later. It was a formal request for custody. It looked cold and mean. My parents had signed a paper to help my sister. They lied and said I had stopped the family from seeing the girl and that I had messed up her head. It was all lies. I looked at the paper until the words got blurry. My parents never even sent the child a birthday card, but now they were saying I kept them away. I did not fall apart. I got very focused and hired a lawyer named Sarah. She had kind eyes and a strong voice. After she looked at all the papers, she looked at me very seriously. "This isn't a reunion case," she told me. "This is a power grab and possibly a financial one." "Financial?" I asked her. Sarah nodded. "The timing is strange. People don't just show up after 11 years. I think we need to check what they were doing before they came back." Officer Miller was very quiet and did his work in a careful way. He would slide papers across the table like he was dealing out a hand of cards that no one really wanted. Within 2 weeks, he had found 3 specific things that made me feel sick to my stomach. My sister's husband was drowning in debt. He had also been looking for the biological father of my daughter for several months. That man, who my sister never named, had recently inherited $4.5 million. Suddenly, the whole situation made sense. My sister's polished appearance, the husband's sudden interest, the rush to get custody now. It was not for love or to make things right. It was for the money. I stared at the papers that the officer had gathered. There were financial mistakes. There were online searches. There were messages between my sister and my parents that proved they had been talking to each other for 3 years. It was a betrayal wrapped in a long silence. I was not falling apart anymore. I was getting ready. When the court date arrived, I was not going to walk in feeling afraid. I was going to walk in with the truth. The inside of the courthouse smelled like old paper and cold air. It was a strange smell that made everything feel very real. I sat next to my lawyer, Sarah. The closed folder sat between us like a live wire. Every few seconds, I looked at the door. I thought about my daughter at school. She did not know about the storm that was reaching its peak. Then my sister and her husband walked in. My sister wore a soft blue dress. Her hair was fixed in waves to make her look innocent. The husband had on a sharp suit and that confident half-smile he used like a shield. Behind them, my parents sat down. They folded their hands like they were at a church service and not a trial they helped plan. When the judge walked in, the feeling in the room changed. Judge Stevens had silver hair and a calm look. She sat down, looked at the room, and said, "Let's proceed." My sister spoke first. "My sister kept the girl from me," she said. Her voice was shaking perfectly on cue. "I was sick, but I got better. I wanted to see her again. She said no. She shut me out." Her lawyer nodded to encourage her. "And your parents, they were heartbroken," my sister whispered. My sister did not let them see their granddaughter. It was a lie told like it was a holy word. My parents got on the stand next and said the same thing. "She kept us away," my mother said with a fake sigh. "We tried," my father added. "She wanted the girl to forget us." They claimed I had blocked the family and that I had distorted the girl's understanding of her heritage. Not once did they talk about the nights I begged them for help. They did not mention the birthdays they skipped or the hurt they caused. They didn't mention the times the girl asked why they didn't stay. The husband spoke last. He was cold and polished. "Her work schedule is not stable. She has a limited income and there are not two parents in the house. This puts the girl at a disadvantage," he said. "My wife and I can give her stability, opportunity." That word opportunity made my chest feel tight. Then it was my turn. Sarah led me through my story. We showed photos, school reports, and notes from the therapist. We showed notes from teachers, neighbors, and doctors. Every paper showed what my daughter's life was really like, stable, loved, and good. But the other lawyer tried to ruin it. "You work 2 jobs, right?" the lawyer asked. "I do telehealth work after the girl is asleep," I answered. "I do it to save for her future." "You are not married." "Yes." "You rent." "Yes." "Do you believe you can give her what a married couple with a house can give her?" Sarah said, "Objection." The judge agreed, but the question had been asked. I took a slow breath. I can give her everything she actually needs. Safety, stability, and love. These are things she has only known with me. The judge watched me closely. Her look was not cold. She was measuring the truth against how things looked. When the talking ended, the judge folded her hands. "Does the respondent have additional evidence to submit?" she asked. Sarah nodded. "Yes, Your Honor, we do." My heart was beating fast. This was the moment everything changed. She picked up the closed folder. "May I approach?" "Proceed." The folder hit the judge's desk with a soft thud, but the sound felt very loud in the room. My sister looked worried. Her husband moved around in his chair. My parents leaned forward. Judge Stevens broke the seal. When she opened the first page, her eyebrows went up. By the second page, she took a sharp breath. By the third page, her face looked very hard. "What is this?" she asked. Her voice was quiet but sharp. "These are facts from a licensed private investigator," Sarah said. "It includes money records, phone logs, and internet history. This evidence directly contradicts the testimony given in this courtroom." My sister's face turned white. The husband's jaw was tight. The judge read in silence for almost a full minute. Then she looked at my sister. "Mrs. Morgan," she said, "were you aware that your husband has been trying to find the biological father of the child?" My sister blinked. "What?" Were you aware that this man recently inherited a lot of money, $4.5 million, and that your husband started looking for him right after that happened? The husband started to talk, but his lawyer pulled his sleeve to stop him. My sister's voice sounded weak. I did not know the details. The judge looked at her hard. That is not what these messages show. My parents started to act nervous. The judge turned to look at them. And to the grandparents, the judge said, "Can you explain why your phone records show you have been talking to your daughter for 3 years? You swore under oath that you did not know where she was." My mother could not speak right. My father wiped sweat off his forehead. "I do not allow people to lie in my court," the judge said, "especially in a case about a child." Sarah put more papers on the desk. "Also, Your Honor, these are reports from the school counselor. They show that the child has very bad anxiety because she is afraid of being taken away from her primary parent." That was more important than the money lies. The room was quiet. Judge Stevens closed the folder. Then she looked right at me. "Please stand," she said. My legs felt weak, but I stood up. "This court sees that you have given this child 11 years of constant love and care," she said. "The girl sees you as her real parent. Taking her out of your home would hurt her emotions and is not what is best for her. Therefore," she continued, "custody remains solely with you." I made a small sound. It was a quiet, broken gasp. "To the birth mother," Judge Stevens said firmly. "You are granted supervised visitation contingent upon continued compliance with all court recommendations." The husband jumped up. "Your Honor." "Sit down, Mr. Dalton," she told him. "Your financial motives are documented. The court will be telling the right people to look into this further." My parents just stared at me like they didn't know who I was. Court adjourned. The judge hit the desk with her gavel one time. Everything after that was a blur. I heard chairs moving and people whispering. My sister walked up to me slowly. Her eyes were red and her voice was thin. "I didn't know," she whispered. "He said." I stepped away from her. I had to protect myself. "You had 11 years," I said very quietly. 11 years to show up for her. You came back for the money, not the child." She did not say I was wrong. I walked out of the courtroom and saw the sunlight coming through the windows. It felt warm on my face. It felt like I was finally breathing after being underwater for a long time. My phone buzzed. It was a message from the art teacher. It was a photo of my daughter smiling and holding a drawing of the two of us. We were a family made by choice. It was not about blood or lies. I let out a big breath. We were safe. The truth had won the fight for me. The weeks after the court case were very quiet. Life was finally normal. My daughter slept all night. She did not have nightmares anymore. She did not cling to me at school. She used bright colors when she drew, like yellow and blue, instead of the gray colors she used before. I met my parents one time at a cafe. We did not yell or fight. There was just a lot of space between us that would never go away. They wanted to see the girl. I told them the rules. I told them they would be watched and they could not lie. They said okay, but I saw that they knew they had no power anymore. My sister divorced her husband quietly. She sent me a short message to say sorry. I did not say I forgave her, but I did not close the door completely. For the sake of the girl, maybe things could be easier one day. Sarah helped me finish the paperwork for long-term guardianship. It was strong and final. One evening, the girl and I were sitting on our small porch eating ice cream. She put her head on my shoulder. "Mom, we're okay now, right?" she asked. I smiled and touched her hair. "Yes, sweetheart, we're more than okay." The future felt big and it was ours. Some families are made of blood, but others are made of staying loyal and keeping promises when no one is looking. We are the second kind. We survived the lies and the court where the truth had to fight for air. We came out stronger and steadier. If this story meant something to you, tell me in the comments. If you have ever had to protect someone you love from your own family, you are not alone. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next story.